Have you ever been attacked or felt attacked by people using Bible verses before? Like, close your legs, don't talk, don't put stuff on your hair, and so many other things. And they use Bible verses. I have been there too. I can understand how disappointing it can be for women of faith when people use verses to attack you from the Bible that you hold so dear to your heart. I have learned since to remember that the Bible is an ancient text and we cannot simply take out verses and words and use them for our own design, because then they lose their meaning and they lose the value of the message. When I look into the history and the culture at the time when the verse or the book was written in the Bible, then I get a bigger picture. Then I understand the message better. Most of the time, when I look into these things, I find that the message isn't oppressive as some have made them to be. So today is a part of a series where I will discuss some Bible verses that have been taken out of context and used to oppress women. And I want to do this Bible study with you so that we can reclaim the message and break free from this kind of oppression. Because the life of oppression is not the life that God willed for us women. We are meant to thrive, to grow, and share in growing God's kingdom on earth. The verse I'd like to tackle today is the controversial Ephesians 5:22. In KJV version it reads, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord." This letter was written by Paul, probably in a Roman prison in 60 AD, to the people of Ephesus, in the house church of Ephesus. So, what was happening in Ephesus at that time? Let's see. So first, the temple worship of Artemis was thriving in Ephesus. Number 2, in Paul's letter, he mentioned that Demetrius, a blacksmith, was really mad at them because there's a decline in his sales of trinkets, things they use for idol worship, because the number of Christians are growing. And the third one is that people met in house churches, like Prisca and Aquila's house church in Ephesus. So those things were happening. So in these house churches, people met where they break bread, what we call fellowship today, and it wasn't formal. And because of that, people don't always agree with each other on many different things. There are no rules, not a lot of laws, like how they do worship and basically how they do stuff. So entered Paul. Paul's letters show us just one side of the conversation that he was having as a missionary, Paul, and the church as the people of God. So in this particular letter, Paul was trying to address faith and practice as Christians right at its core. So the letter had 2 parts. Number 1 is establishing the truths, and number 2, addressing the lifestyle in Christianity. Paul wanted the people of Ephesus to mature in faith, so he laid out the theological foundations for them and called them to act so that they can walk their talk. Paul was trying to equip people and set them up for success with love, unity, peace, and encourage them in fighting and persevering in spiritual warfare. The call to submit was laid with the foundation of Christ's relationship with the church. The call to submit was laid out with the foundation of Christ's relationship with the church. This verse isn't meant to be a weapon for husbands to dismiss their wives' thoughts, feelings, opinion, and well-being just so that they can have their way. Note that in verse 23, Paul said, husbands are meant to be Christ-like. Christ, husband. Church, wife. Let that sink in for a moment. So the question to the husband is, are you being Christ-like? Is a husband Christ-like when he manipulates the wife, neglects her, hurts her? No. The image of Christ in the church reminds us of the relationship between them, the cyclical relationship between them. The image gives us a guide of how a relationship in the context of marriage should be like under Christianity, under the faith. Remember that as a man loves his wife, she will respect him more. And the more the wife respects the husband, the more he will love her. It's a cycle of giving and taking that is fundamental in nurturing a marriage. So, to the married people out there, I hope that you will remember this cycle of love and respect. Even when you have arguments, exercise that cycle of love and respect. So thank you so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for my next videos and let's reclaim the message of verses that have been used to oppress women. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Have a great day!